pack your things and leave this house.
Please forgive me, Mama.
I am sorry, you cannot have children.
The Adekunle mansion sat on a quiet street in Ikeja GRA, its high walls covered in bougainvillea and the scent of expensive perfume always lingering in the air. Inside, Chief Mrs. Olufunmilayo Adekunle, known to everyone as Mama Funmi, ruled like a queen. At 58 she still carried herself with the grace of a woman half her age, her gele always perfectly tied, her gold bangles singing whenever she waved her hand. Her only son, Adeola, had married Kayamaka 3 years earlier. Chioma was soft-spoken, beautiful in a quiet way, with skin the color of polished mahogany and eyes that always seemed to hold a secret smile. She came from a modest family in Onitsha. Mama Funmi had never forgiven her for that. One humid Saturday morning, the house was filled with the smell of ofada rice and ayamase. Chioma moved around the kitchen carefully, tying her wrapper tighter as she stirred the pot. Mama Funmi sat in the living room watching African magic, her eyes narrowed. Chioma, she called sharply. Yes, Ma. Come here. Chioma wiped her hands and hurried in, bowing slightly the way she had been taught. Mama Funmi did not look at her. 3 years, eh? 3 full years and this house is still empty. No grandchild. No cry of a baby. What kind of woman are you? Chioma's voice was soft. Ma, the doctor said we should keep trying. Sometimes it takes time. Dr. Ku. Mama Funmi snapped, turning fully now. Her eyes were cold. In my time, a real woman gets pregnant before the first year is over. Your mates are already having their second and third children. Look at you, still looking like a schoolgirl. Is it that my son's seed is wasted on barren soil? Adeola walked in at that moment, loosening his tie after a long day at the firm. He heard the last words and his face tightened. Mummy, please. Not again. Not again? Mama Funmi stood up, her bangles clashing. Adeola, open your eyes. This girl has bewitched you. Look at her family, poor people from the east. What did you expect? Good blood does not mix with ordinary blood. Chioma's eyes filled but she did not cry. She had learned long ago that tears only made Mama Funmi stronger. That night, in their bedroom, Adeola held his wife close. I'm sorry, Chioma. She doesn't mean it. Chioma rested her head on his chest. She means every word, Diola. Every single day she reminds me that I am not enough. Sometimes I wonder if God is punishing me. Adeola kissed her forehead. We will have children. I promise you. Just give it time. But time was the one thing Mama Funmi refused to give. 2 months later, Mama Funmi invited her closest friend, Madame Risi, for lunch. The 2 women sat under the mango tree in the backyard, plates of pounded yam and egusi before them. Risi, I can no longer continue like this, Mama Funmi said, lowering her voice. That girl is a stone. No child, no nothing. My only son's lineage will die because of her. Madame Risi licked her fingers. Funmi, have you taken her to the native doctor? I have done everything. Prayers, herbs, even that alhaji in Ajij. Nothing. I am convinced she is the problem. Adeola is a real man. His late father produced me and 3 sisters with no problem. So what will you do? Mama Funmi's eyes glittered. I will force him to divorce her. There is a girl from a good family, Adessa Labello. Her father is a big contractor. She is beautiful, educated, and from our side. Once Adeola marries her, grandchildren will fill this house. That evening Mama Funmi called Adeola into her private parlor. My son, sit down. Adeola sat, already sensing trouble. I have decided. You must send Chioma packing. I have found a better wife for you. Adeola stood up so fast the chair fell. Mummy, are you out of your mind? Chioma is my wife. I love her. Love will not give me grandchildren. Mama Funmi shouted. Do you want the Adekunle name to end with you? Your father is turning in his grave. I will not divorce her. Mama Funmi's voice dropped to a dangerous whisper. Then you will no longer be my son. I will write you out of my will. This house, the companies, everything your father left, gone. You will start from zero. And I will make sure every door in Lagos is closed against you. Adeola stared at his mother. For the first time he saw pure steel in her eyes. For weeks Adeola fought. He took Chioma to the best hospitals. They did tests. Everything came back normal. Still, Mama Funmi refused to believe it. One night Chioma overheard a conversation between mother and son. If you don't send her away by the end of this month, I will go to the village and bring the family elders. They will force the divorce. You know how these things work. Chioma walked into the room, her face calm but her heart shattered. Diola, she said quietly, I will leave. No. Yes. I will not be the reason you lose everything. Your mother has won. The divorce was quick and painful. Chioma packed 2 suitcases. On the morning she left, Mama Funmi stood at the top of the staircase watching, a small satisfied smile on her lips. Chioma paused at the door and looked up. Mama, may the child you are so desperate for come from the woman you choose. And may you live long enough to see the truth. Then she walked out into the Lagos rain. 6 months later the Adekunle mansion was filled with music and Asoebi. Adesola Bello became Mrs. Adekunle in a grand ceremony. She was everything Mama Funmi had wanted, tall, fair, with a soft voice and expensive taste. Her father had given a fat bride price and 3 cars. Mama Funmi danced more than anyone that day. See my new daughter, she boasted to guests. This one has good blood. Children will come in abundance. Adeola smiled for the cameras, but his eyes were empty. At night he still reached for a woman who was no longer there. Adesola tried. She cooked his favorite meals, wore the lace he liked, and called Mama Funmi Mummy with perfect sweetness. Mama Funmi loved her immediately. This is a real wife, she told Madame Risi. Watch and see. By next year this house will have a bouncing baby boy. 1 year passed. 2 years. No pregnancy. At first Mama Funmi made excuses. They are still enjoying themselves. Young couples need time. By the 3rd year the excuses died. Adesola began to look thin. She visited doctor after doctor. Mama Funmi went with her, sitting in waiting rooms with her geli high and her face stern. One afternoon Dr. Emeka Okonkwo called them into his office after the latest round of tests. He cleared his throat. Mrs. Adekunle. Adesola, the results are clear. You have a condition called premature ovarian failure. In simple terms, you cannot conceive naturally. Your ovaries are no longer producing eggs. Silence fell like a heavy curtain. Mama Funmi's mouth opened and closed. What are you saying? I am saying she is sterile, Ma. Permanently. Adesola began to cry quietly. Mama Funmi stood up so violently her chair crashed to the floor. You are a liar. My daughter cannot be barren. Check again. Dr. Okonkwo remained calm. We have checked 3 times with different laboratories. There is no mistake. That night Mama Funmi locked herself in her room. For the first time in decades she wept until her eyes were red and swollen. She refused food. She refused visitors. When Adeola tried to enter she screamed at him. Leave me. This is your fault. You brought that first girl and now this one is useless. But deep down she knew the truth was eating her alive. She began to have nightmares. In one dream Chioma stood at the foot of her bed holding a baby boy who looked exactly like Adeola as a child. The baby stretched his hands toward Mama Funmi, but Chioma turned and walked away into darkness. Mama Funmi woke up gasping, her pillow wet. She started losing weight. Her once perfect geli sat loosely on her head. The gold bangles no longer sang, they hung silent on thinner wrists. Madame Risi came one afternoon and found her friend staring at old family photographs. Funmi, this is not good. You are killing yourself. Mama Funmi's voice was broken. Risi, I forced my son to send away a good woman, for this. For a wife who can never give me a grandchild. God is punishing me. Meanwhile, Chioma had rebuilt her life in Asaba. She opened a small fashion boutique and lived quietly with her sister Ngozi. She never remarried. Sometimes at night she still cried for Adeola, but she never contacted him. One rainy evening Femi Ajayi, Adeola's friend, found her shop. Chioma. Adeola is not well. His mother is worse. The new wife, she cannot have children. Mama Funmi is dying of regret. Chioma listened in silence. Please, Femi said, just visit. Even if only once. Chioma shook her head. I was not good enough then. Why would I be good enough now? But that night she could not sleep. The next morning she packed a small bag. When Chioma walked into the Adekunle mansion, Mama Funmi was sitting in a wheelchair by the window. The once formidable woman looked small and fragile. Their eyes met. Mama Funmi's lips trembled. Chioma. Chioma stood tall. Mama. For a long moment neither spoke. Then Mama Funmi began to cry, real tears this time, the kind that come from a heart that has finally broken open. I am sorry, she whispered. I am so sorry. I destroyed your marriage. I destroyed my son's happiness. And now, God has shown me the truth. The new wife is sterile. Completely. I cried blood when I heard it. Every night I see your face. Chioma's own eyes filled, but her voice stayed steady. Mama, you taught me one thing, that a woman's worth is measured by the children she bears. Today I stand before you without a child, yet I am at peace. Can you say the same? Mama Funmi reached out a thin hand. Please, forgive me. Stay. Even if only for a while. Adeola still loves you. I see it every day. Adeola and Chioma spoke for hours that night. Old wounds opened and slowly began to close. Adesola, to her credit, did not fight. She had already accepted her fate and quietly asked for a separation so Adeola could find peace. Mama Funmi called a family meeting. In front of everyone she knelt, something no one had ever seen, and begged Chioma's forgiveness. I was blind, she said. I thought bloodline and money were everything. I forgot that love and character are the real inheritance. Pastor Joshua prayed over the house. The atmosphere slowly changed. Months later, Chioma and Adeola remarried in a quiet ceremony. Mama Funmi, though still weak, danced a little. 2 years after the remarriage, Chioma gave birth to a healthy baby boy. They named him Adebayo after the late patriarch. On the day of the naming ceremony, Mama Funmi held her grandson and wept again, but this time the tears were different. She looked at Chioma and whispered, "This is the child I almost lost forever because of my pride. Thank you for coming back." Chioma smiled and placed a hand on the old woman's shoulder. "Mama, every storm has an end. Even the ones we create ourselves." Outside, the Lego sun shone brightly over the Atakano mansion. Inside, for the first time in many years, the house finally felt like a home.
To another amazing story. Don't forget to smash that like button right now, share this video with all of your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more. See you in the next story.